Hi, Mr. Ham here again. In this video, I want to get two things done. I want to create our base class, which is the game object, the base game object. I'm going to create a spaceship class that would inherit from the game object. Just to show you again, this is kind of the map that I want to achieve. I've got the base class, which is the parent class, that all of these other children or child classes will inherit from. I'm going to make the spaceship here. So let's get started. Okay, so just make sure everything is good. It's all good. So at this point in time, we don't need these balls anymore. So I can delete these balls. I'll keep the ball class here. And I might use this at some point, so I don't want to type it again, so I'll just leave it. And I'll get rid of all of this stuff. Keep the audio update there, because that's handling deletion of audio, and delete all of that. Keep this because that's our background. So this is pretty much our bare bones. Don't need that anymore. So this is pretty much our bare bones here. All right, so what I want to do before I move on is I just noticed that this random here is private. I'm going to make that a public shared because I'm probably going to be using that in other places. So I'm going to make that public shared. Okay. All right, so that's public shared. And everything's good. So this is pretty much what I need here. Now let's make our base game object. So when we're making objects, we really shouldn't be just making it willy-nilly everywhere. We really should organize ourselves, because as we've programmed games, you know, you have more and more objects. It gets more and more like complicated, and also you want to organize things well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to add a new folder, and I'm going to call this game objects with an S. These are all our game objects. All right, and then I'm going to right click on that folder and add a new class called game object without an S. This is going to be our base class, game object. That'll be our base class, game object. I don't use spaces. And our base class, it's going to have all those properties that are common with all of our game objects. And if you don't remember the list, we'll look it up very soon, but I think I can remember it. We want X, we want Y, we want some kind of V speed, we want H speed, we want size, so we want to give it size, and we want to give it color. Color would be color during color dot during color, yeah. And file, and also we want whether we want to destroy it, destroy it or not. A flag to whether we want to destroy it or not. And this is a flag for a Boolean flag. I'm just going to double check, just make sure we've got all the right things. Yep. Speed. So speed I've divided into two components there, and I'll explain to you later why we do that. ultimately it's 2D, so we need to have some kind of vertical up and down speed and some kind of horizontal speed. All right. Okay, let's go back to our methods will be our load, public sub load, public sub update, and public sub what's good, draw, and we need to take in the graphics so that we can draw stuff with it. We need to pass in the graphics. All right, so here's the deal. What I'll do is I'll now create a I want to show you, so I'll create a spaceship now before I show you what the deal is. Spaceship. Okay. All right, so I want my spaceship to have all of these things from this class, right? So to do that, in the spaceship class, I put a colon and I go inherits, and it inherits the game object stuff. So now all of this stuff is now accessible to this. So even though you don't see it, it's accessible, right? But here's the thing. These things are methods, and methods, I want to put my own stuff in here, right? In the spaceship. The spaceship needs to override whatever's in here. So if I write anything in here, I don't want it to do that. I want it to do its own thing. So we need to make these overridable so that I can override. Override means to replace in a sense. I need to be able to replace this. Overrideable. I need to make it overrideable so that I can, in the spaceship, I can override. I go public override. You notice the word's slightly different. One's overrides. You'll override the load, right? So what it does is, this thing might be doing something, but when I grab it from the base class, I want to change it to what I want to do. I can load whatever the base class is doing, or not want to do what the base class is doing at all, right? And I want to load it. So all of these should be overrides. Just want to explain what overrideable. And then, so the base class is overrideable, whereas the child class, or the one that inherits it, will be overrides. So this can be replaceable, and then this one's going to replace it. All right, and they're all should be marked as overrideable. Okay, so that's the catch to be inheriting from things. You want to set whether it's override. If I didn't set it to be overrideable, I won't be able to replace it. Watch. Overrides. I'll check my overrides, and draw doesn't appear. Only update appears, so I can't override it. Right. So I need to put the override in there. Okay, that's that. Now, all objects in my game, they should start off with some value. So maybe nothing. Maybe they don't start off with anything. So these are me's. Me's basically means I'm accessing these guys. So you should put me, so we know that these guys are these guys. These are our internal memories, internal memory spaces, exposed internal memory spaces, I guess. So every time a game object is created, all of these I should set to some starting value. Some kind of default. Whatever, 10, no color, give it a color dot red. So that's our default color. To be destroyed, you shouldn't be destroyed when you first spawns. we want to set it to be destroyed whenever we need it destroyed. So this should be false. Alright, so we'll put it into there. Hopefully I'm putting it in the right place. In our update function, since these all are gonna move, let's put in our move. Our move. So to move it, we just need to add the position to its horizontal speed, the X position to its horizontal speed, and that will make it move. So every object, if we give this, if I set this to like a little some kind of speed straight away, it will start moving already in the game. But I've set it to 0, the speed to 0, so it shouldn't move. But when we do set this value to something, it should automatically move, because the base update is is basically saying move. This activates the ability for it to move. Finally, with the draw, because they all draw different things, I'm not going to do any draws for the base. I'm not even going to give it a base draw, not even a base ball, but I will give it a base kind of update and a base load. All right, so that's that object. Let's have a look at our time. Ooh. All right, so let's go into our spaceship. Let's overwrite those guys. Let's overwrite those 3 things. And we'll take we'll take the base, so that it has the ability to move, and I don't have to write my own one. I don't need to write my own one. It's working the way I want it. And we'll do even if you do a base draw, I mean, there's nothing to draw. It's not drawing anything. It's calling this, and nothing's happening anyway. So there's nothing in there anyway. All right, so that's. But what we do is we'll be drawing something. Let's just draw a fill ellipse. Let's draw a fill ellipse. Let's just test this out. New solid brush, and we'll just grab the default color, which is me.color, and you notice me.color doesn't exist here, right? But it already knows that it exists because it exists in here. So even though you don't see it, it's actually there. You can't see it. That's what inheritance is. And what I'll do is I'll go me.x, me.y, me.size, because they're the four inputs at once, and me.size. And that's it. I guess I could set it to a position. Let's set it in the middle somewhere. So that's how we use this one. So load will load it at a position. This will make it move. I haven't made it move. I can make it move actually. Let's go v speed. Let's set the v speed to something. Let's make it move by 1 going in a certain direction, and then it will draw us a sphere. So let's now build. Let's make our spaceship in our game. So we'll go into our game window, and we'll create a ship. We'll go dim main ship as spaceship equals new spaceship. And then we'll load the spaceship. So these are the 3 things we always have to do for every object. We load, we update, and we draw. And we've already programmed how to handle all these things in our class. So, and we'll pass in a G in there, pass in the graphics. And that's it. Let's have a look at a ball. A sphere should be moving in a particular direction. Oh, there's an error. Why? What's the issue here? Oh, okay. So go back to this one. Public override draw. Let me just pause. Oh yeah, whoops. This is not draw. This is not update. This is draw. And that's it. Let's run. And there you go. So you got this thing moving there, and that's our spaceship. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.